Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited. Coming up later in the program, guess who we're going to be talking to?
Who's that?
Going to be talking to a guy by the name of Steve Dale, and he's got a couple of national programs about pets, and we're going to be talking about Halloween and pets because Halloween is coming up Monday. So not only is some of the candy bad for pets, but also the doorbell and all the scary goblins and people walking around. Pets kind of freak out about some of that. We're going to get some tips from Steve coming up in the program. Did you know that flatulence helps reduce high blood pressure? And it's good for your health? Your dad is probably the perfect picture of health then.
And you.
Me?
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
When?
You're terrible all the time.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
It wasn't me. It was the dog.
Uh-huh.
Hey, a lightning bolt embodies as much as 30,000 amps of electricity, and it reaches a temperature of 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take a few degrees, maybe anywhere from 300 yards up to 4 miles long. So there you go. It's shocking information right there. Coming up in a bit, we're going to find out what kind of special things are happening today. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, October the 27th. Today is Navy Day. I like that. Our son joined the Navy, so happy Navy Day to all the other Navy families out there. Also, World Day for Audiovisual Heritage. And today is Cranky Coworkers Day. You going to celebrate that today? What are you trying to say, Heidi? Why are you pointing at me? I'm not cranky. So now,
I'm not saying anything.
So far in this program, you've told people I'm cranky and I toot a lot.
You fart. You do not toot. A toot is a quiet, subdued little tiny fart. You do not toot. You fart.
Like a thunderous applause?
Yes.
I don't think so. Next time that happens, would you let me know? Because
I don't need to.
Maybe I'm just blissfully unaware.
I think
Coming up.
every time Taylor and I both yell, "Go in the other room," that should be a sign.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, coming up, we've got something else, anything else. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you're looking for a little more personality for your next family car, maybe Toyota can help. They think they have a solution, a car that smiles and frowns and can even cry. Some people really get into creating personalities for their cars, even going to the point of giving their car a name. We've done that with many of our cars.
Lots of our cars.
Our daughter has a car named Susie.
She does.
And it even has eyelashes.
Yes. It's
So
adorable.
weird. I hate it when I have to drive that car. People pull up next to me. They're like,
it's hard for you, I'm sure.
"Hey, you don't look like much of a Susie." I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. Soon you'll be able to buy a car that will smile and frown and even cry. Toyota, along with the personality traits, what is that? It's made by Toyota. And along with the personality traits, it also takes your pulse and measures your rate of perspiration. And it's called the pod. It has a U-shaped groove that lights up to express emotion. The headlights positioned midway to look like eyes, and the side mirrors positioned to look like ears. When the owner approaches, it lights up a happy orange-yellow. Puncture a tire or run low on fuel, it lights up blue, complete with a display of teardrops. Swerve sharply
inside the car.
Swerve sharply or brake too hard, the color turns angry red. So, no, it's on the outside of the car because they're talking about the headlights and the mirrors and whatnot. So
I like that. I would like that.
I just don't know if it's necessary.
It's not necessary, but how much in life that we use right now is necessary?
I've
not
got like
many things.
15 apps on my phone right now that are not necessary. And I'm not even an app guy. But I'm like, wow, that's really cool. What is that? So anyway, this thing is called the Pod, and it's from, who is it from? Toyota. So there you go. I doubt we'll be getting one anytime soon, but, one could always hope. I'm going to just tell my car to smile more often, that's all. And it's true, by the way, because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Joe S. Kelly is in double trouble for a DUI. You know why?
Why?
He was busted twice in the same day.
Oh, my gosh.
Troopers in upstate New York report the first arrest came after Kelly stopped at a state police headquarters in Millbrook early Sunday to ask for directions. He was drunk as a skunk, by the way. He had a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit. He was supposed to go to a hotel and sleep it off, but police say the Massachusetts man got out of the cab, got back into his SUV. He was later arrested for the second time on a DWI. Didn't the first one say a DUI? Either way.
Oh, man.
Sent to the Dutchess County Jail the second time. They said, if at first you don't succeed, we're going to just throw you in jail because you probably aren't going to figure this stuff out.
Huh.
2 drinking and driving arrests in one day. I wonder if that's a record.
It's not smart.
No, it's not smart, but I bet his insurance is going to go up. Coming up, we have your moment of duh. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Stupid criminals are everywhere, and sometimes they're even in jail, Heidi. And they're still stupid.
Well, of course, people
And
are stupid
they're
if they end up in jail.
Yeah, well, take a listen to this one. In Amsterdam, it says an unidentified criminal, I guess they're trying to be nice to this prisoner, he thought he could squeeze through the hatch of his cell door and escape. Well, he was wrong, and he got stuck pretty darn tight in the hatch. The guards first tried to use oil to squeeze him out. Then they put soap on him. Then they put water in there to free him, but to no avail. Finally, they had to bring in a acetylene torch and cut a hole in the door and pull the guy out from between the bars. He's been moved to a more secure cell just in case he wants to be stupid again. So,
oh, my gosh.
There you go. That is not smart. Have you ever gotten stuck in something? Like any part of your body stuck in something? Like your arm stuck in something or your leg stuck in something?
No.
I had my foot stuck in something.
I mean, I've had rings snug on my finger before
I've
that
done
I've had
too.
a hard time getting off, but I've always gotten them off.
Yeah, you just want to be careful. It feels awful to be stuck in something, especially if you were in prison trying to get out, because how do you explain that? Coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. According to a study, about 1 in 6 cell phones in the United Kingdom have tested positive for traces of E. coli from fecal matter.
We've talked about this.
Oh.
Because people take their phones into the bathroom.
Yeah, those people in the United Kingdom, though, what are they doing if they're getting them? You
Well,
sit it
if
down
you think
on
about
something, or
it,
what
when
do you
you're
do?
in the bathroom, you wipe and then you pick up your phone and you go
Nah.
out and then you wash your hands.
Yeah, that's not how
Because
I do
you're how do you get your phone from the bathroom?
with this other hand over here. That I just don't touch it. I have a system. I'll show you. I'll teach you. This is a good system.
I find that
You
very
can buy
hard
my
to
system.
believe.
I have all of the details in my system that is available on eBay. No, it's not really.
I think we should tomorrow on the radio have your phone swabbed for fecal matter.
No, we should not. If you don't ever want me to use that phone again, then let's do it. Hey, after Angry Birds earned more than $300 million at the box office, it was only a matter of time before somebody else comes out with a video game movie, and Fruit Ninja is the next one. And we've already talked about that as well, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Did we talk about Fruit Ninja?
Yeah, we did.
Apparently, I'm reading some old stuff here.
We might not have on the radio, but I know we've talked about it.
Well, how about this over here? I bet we haven't talked about this. Every year when Halloween rolls around, the debate rages over which candy is the best. You ready for this?
Okay.
Okay, which one do you, before we even get
Which
moving
one
forward,
is the best for
the best
kids?
candy as a child to get in the little trick-or-treat bucket or bag? What is the best?
It's not Snickers.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the best.
I love Snickers, but little
Yeah.
kids don't because there's peanuts in it.
Okay. So what do you think the number one answer is?
I would say Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Okay, now let's move on and see what they say. According to Today.com, Influencer, whatever that is, a retail website.
Influencer.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that before?
Yes, I have. Actually,
never heard of
I'm
that?
actually a member of
Are
that.
you really?
Yeah.
You're an influencer?
I am.
I thought you looked familiar. Well, the 2 million shoppers sought to find the answer to the national candy supremacy while breaking down each state's favorite sugary treat. The survey of 40,000 of their members to find out which Halloween candy, and they created a graphic. How am I supposed to show that on the radio? So I have to go. I got to click on this thing? Are you kidding me? Give me the answer. What's the number one? Anyway, we'll come back to that while it's opening up. Wow, I kind of feel like I let everyone down there. She says Reese's. I say, what did I say again? Snickers.
You said Snickers.
Okay, hey, it popped up. You can see this, by the way, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And number one in 5 states was...
What, you can't read it?
Candy corn. Are you kidding me?
Oh, no way. Nobody wants candy corn in their...
5 states, the number one.
That might have been the biggest seller, but that doesn't mean that the kids liked getting it.
I can't even imagine. Huh. Swedish Fish also did well. Are you kidding me?
No way.
Who's
That's a
doing this
ridiculous... That is
survey?
definitely not the kids.
All right, you'll have to... When you've got... we only have
It
a
must
few-
be based off of sales because
know.
people are going out and buying this garbage and then they think that everybody's actually eating it,
Here's
but
the
they're just
answer
getting
for that.
thrown away like Peeps.
Buy stuff... buy stuff that you don't like so you don't have to worry about being tempted. That's probably what they're doing. All right. If you want to see it, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. The full story is there. We almost ran out of time already. I mean, what we talked 2 things today? A new study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that sitting for more than 3 hours a day is responsible for 3.8% or approximately 433,000 of all deaths every year. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a whole lot.
Researchers looked at data collected from 54 countries, and they found more than 60% of the world's population sits for more than 3 hours a day. The average is 4.7 hours. We are above average.
We are way above average.
Researchers found that eliminating sitting could increase overall life expectancy by 0.2 years. We'd all just be standing around
By
then.
0.2 years.
While reducing daily sitting time for 2 hours a day could decrease a person's mortality by 2.4%. So it's hardly worth it, is it?
No.
What are you doing? I'd love to sit down, but I want to live that extra 2.2 years. So hang it
Not
in
even
there.
2.2 years.
No, 0.2 years. Yeah, whatever. it was.
0.2 years.
Anyway, this has been
Was
your...
that just a few extra work days?
This has been your not so great scoop of the day.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Can you believe it? Monday is going to be Halloween. It'll be here in just, 4 days? It's going to be here before you know it. We decided to reach out to our friend Steve Dale and get a couple little tidbits of advice on what we can do to make Halloween a little less terrifying for our four-legged friends. Steve is a certified animal behavior consultant, and he is a host of a couple of nationally syndicated programs. One is called Steve Dale's Pet World. Another is called The Pet Minute. And we're going to start right here, Mr. Dale. I got to ask you this, because there's more and more people nowadays with social media. They're snapping photos of their pets all the time. And it seems like as we get close to Halloween, somehow these pets get slid into sometimes not the greatest costumes. They get crammed into a costume and they get a photo posted online. That's not necessarily a good thing for all pets, is it?
You know, you're absolutely right about that. So some pets actually love the attention that we dote on them when we dress them up in all these interesting costumes. But other pets look terrified, don't they?
They
and that's
do.
because they kind of are. Or even humiliated, dare I say. So it's not for every pet.
What are some of the costumes that you see that people put their pets in that maybe they shouldn't be doing?
Well, that they shouldn't be doing, depending on your political affiliation, might be a Clinton costume or a Trump costume. Believe it or not, and I bet you do, they're actually pretty trendy this year. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
But something that the pet has a difficult time breathing in. Sometimes some of the homemade outfits are well-meaning, but not the best idea.
So you're going to want to make sure they can breathe well, and I suppose make sure they can see well as well.
Absolutely right, thank you, and have mobility also.
What kind of things do we need to keep in mind when we're thinking about Halloween? Because in addition to the pets being dressed up, a lot of people have trick-or-treaters that are coming to their house and ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. And I know for us in our household, we've got two little puppies that like to, quote-unquote, protect us. So anytime someone steps on the property, they freak out. So this is one of those holidays where they get a little excited.
So you can relate to what I'm about to say. So these dogs that are freaking out might actually be fearful.
Yeah.
And we don't want, or anxious anyway, and we don't want to see that. I mean, why have pets, or cats included, by the way? I mean, you've got all these people coming over. They're dressed as all these scary sorts of things, and in some cases, the animals actually don't know what they are. Are they people? Are they not people? What do we do about this? So the best thing to do is this. Take advantage of the fact that you have doors in your house. Put your dogs behind one of those doors. Put on some classical music so the doorbell they don't hear quite as often. And also plug in some pheromone products. These are actually copies of pheromone that signal your pet that they are in a safe and secure environment. Adaptals for dogs, Seal Away for cats. You can even put an adaptable collar around your dog. That way the collar goes wherever your dog goes. In addition, distract your dog. Give your dog something. Dogs are not great at multitasking. So if they're busy playing with a toy, they're not so much worried about what's going on the other side of the house. So get one of those food puzzle toys, enrichment toys, that you could stuff treats into, or they can roll around and get kibble out of it.
That's a great idea. Now, again, visiting with Steve Dale. He is an animal expert, has a couple of nationally syndicated programs, certified animal behavioral consultant. That's a lot better than just saying animal expert. Now, we've got one other question I want to make sure I ask here. When the kids go out and go door to door and they get all these little treats, and they come back and they've got these goodies, and you got, your little puppy or your little kitty cat there saying, hey, share with me, I want some. Not a good idea typically to share human candy, is it?
Oh, no. So thank you for bringing that up. So there are lots of things that our dogs can eat and lots of things that our dogs and cats should not eat. So it's been in the media before. Chocolate, that is not healthy, hardly, for our pets. In fact, it can be very dangerous, especially the dark chocolates. But there are some other things, too. So when you leave out brownies for Santa, and you want Santa not to gain weight, because we know Santa has a problem in that area, and they are sugar-free brownies, it probably has a product called xylitol in it. Xylitol, a sugar substitute, can actually kill a dog or a cat. So we want to be careful about what's out there. And you're absolutely right. The Halloween candy, not a good idea for our pets to have.
And one other thing here, if you've got a pet that maybe doesn't react well when the doorbell is pushed, and instead of having the dog stress out or the cat stress out over and over and over all night long, it might be a good idea. I'm reading the info that you guys sent over to maybe just meet the people right at the door so that doesn't happen all night long. That's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if you could preempt that happening so the doorbell isn't going off and off and off and off, if your pets are getting stressed out about that doorbell ringing, sometimes people get stressed out about that doorbell ringing too. So this is as helpful to some people, as it is for our dogs and cats. The other thing I suppose you can do is desensitize and counter-condition your dog or cat to the doorbell. So before Halloween, just ring the bell and give your dog a treat. Ring the bell, give the dog a treat. But again, this is where the pheromone products really come in really well, because they lower the stress when you're training that dog to the doorbell.
Oh, no, that's a good idea. Again, our guest today, Steve Dale, certified animal behavioral consultant. Steve, if they'd like to know more about you, where do they go to find out about you?
To learn more about everything I am talking about and more, it's HappyPetHolidays.com.
Very nice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know a lot of the people that listen to our program have pets because if you look at America, all across America, people love to have dogs and cats and all kinds of little critters in their home. And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing to have our little friends. This Halloween that's coming up here on Monday, we're sneaking right up on it. It's going to be here before you know it. It can be terrifying for the pets. So those are some great tips from Steve Dale. Again, Steve, thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here. Have a happy Halloween.
Again, Steve Dale, and you can learn more at stevedale.tv.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shape.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
You're lacking pain, then you feel no pain. Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cats sleep more than any other mammal. They sleep an average of 16 hours a day. That's
I think
over
our
half of
dogs
the day.
are pretty close to
Yeah,
that.
I think so too. We've got lazy dogs. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Every square inch of the human body has an average of 32 million bacteria. That's not a fun fact. That's a fact. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Hawaii is the only royal palace in the United States.
Oh,
They have a
really?
royal
I'd
palace
like
in
to see
Hawaii.
that.
Did you know you shed over a pound of skin every year?
I never have thought about it, but I
says
know
here-
you shed skin.
Yeah, over a pound every year. And by the time you're 70, you have shed 105 pounds of skin. That's crazy. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Honey is the only food that doesn't spoil. As a matter of fact, honey has been found in the tombs of Egyptian pharaohs and been tasted by archaeologists, and it was still edible. How gutsy would you have to be to say, I'm going to taste
I'm going to
this.
taste what was laying next to that dead body for
2,000 years.
Yeah.
What do you give me? Give me a nickel if I do that? Give you some candy corn. And our final fun fact, James Buchanan is the only U.S. president who has never been married. There you go. A couple of fun facts for you on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. We are sneaking right up on Halloween. Are you excited for
I
Halloween?
love Halloween.
You know, I'm actually kind of excited for Halloween. I'm looking forward to seeing what people are dressed as this year because it's so politically
Everything's
correct.
offensive
Yeah, it's
now.
like what can we be?
I know, it's
You can't-
so sad.
In the past, you would dress as one of the political people that are running for president. Well, this year, there's no way you'd want to do that because there are more people that dislike each candidate.
Yeah.
So it'd be
You
like,
can't
I'm
be
not giving you
anything
candy.
this year. You
Can't be a
can't-
clown.
Can't be a clown.
There's like a big long list of things
Can't
you
be
can't be.
an Indian.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you cannot be anymore for Halloween. So you got to go with something safe.
And I saw
The
online
teddy
that
bear. I don't know.
colleges have safe spaces
Yeah.
where kids can go if they're offended by a Halloween costume that
Isn't
they
that
saw.
crazy?
College was way more fun when I went to college. I'm just saying,
You didn't have safe spaces.
it was nothing like, in fact, the more offensive, the better when I was in
Well, that's
college. It
kinda-
was a blast.
Well, we only have 1 minute now to do this entire story. So back to the Halloween stuff. From Women's Day magazine, some Halloween tips for your pumpkin pointers. Prolong a carved pumpkin's life by lathering the inside of the shell and cut areas with petroleum jelly. That'll make it so it doesn't get all rotten and gooey like the one on our front step.
But isn't petroleum jelly, is it flammable?
I have no clue.
So if you want to stick a candle in there, I'll have to look at the jar and see. I think it might.
Well,
I don't know.
Next thing on here, this to prevent a fire hazard, use battery-operated candles to light the pumpkin. So that's a good one. So that's another thing. Outdoor decor. Make streamers by cutting a plastic garbage bag into strips. That sounds like a lot of work. Couldn't you just get a streamer? Stuff an old shirt and pants to make a scarecrow body and set it on a chair with a plastic pumpkin head. Another one, tie corn stalks from a garden center on your front porch columns. Now, down here for trick-or-treating, some tips. Give each child a flashlight so they can find their way.
That's a good
if you're out in the
idea.
dark. Yeah, it's a good idea. Make sure treat bags are sturdy and easy to carry. Take along extras in case one breaks or in case, you hit the mother load. Keep kids on sidewalks and walkways. Do not walk in the lawn. They can trip on things. They could break sprinklers. They could injure themselves. All kinds of bad things. Make it a rule to take treats home after trick-or-treating and inspect things before you just gobble them all up. And the last thing is alternatives to candy. Give small treats like stickers and plastic figures and bookmarks and things like that. And put them in a shallow bowl and let each kid pick one or two. So some tips and tricks for trick-or-treat.
You don't want to be that house.
Yeah, would you
do
give
not
up?
want to be that. You'll get egged.
No, I don't think you get egged, but you probably won't have as many kids next year. Solved itself.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Pregnancy may be good for your memory.
Okay.
Do you believe this?
No.
Well, scientists at the University of Richmond in Virginia studying pregnant rats say that hormones released during pregnancy and after birth cause long-lasting changes to the brain of the female rat, and it increased their ability to remember and learn new tasks. Although the research was limited to laboratory animals, researchers believe it could have the same implications for humans.
Why not just... It's not like they have to hurt a human to do that test. Why not do that test on humans?
I'm not sure.
There's not a lack of women who have had children and women who have not. They could have done that test on
Do some
humans.
sort of test. Here's the thing. I think that there are some things that women forget, because I remember, like, right after you had our child, had our baby girl Taylor, you were saying, I'll never do that again. And then, like, 2 years later, we had some friends that had a baby, and you were like, maybe we should have one more.
No, that's you saying.
Oh, was it me that was
I
saying
remember.
that?
That's you saying we should have
You
another
do
one, and
have-
I'm saying, no way.
You have a
we
good
are
memory.
done.
I thought I'd pass one over on you. But just check it. I just did the test. It's absolutely correct. Coming up, we're going to be horsing around. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
All right, everybody. If you want to have some fun, just listen and see at what point of this story Heidi's mind is completely blown and she completely freaks out. It's going to be towards the end. It starts out really nice. William Madiger set up the perfect romantic atmosphere to pop the question to his little girlfriend, Karen. They were on an intimate horse-drawn carriage ride through New Orleans. He was just about to propose, and the horse passed gas. Karen was so overcome by the odor, she couldn't even answer. William is now suing the carriage owner
Oh, my gosh.
for $20,000.
Oh, my gosh.
For punitive damages. See, I got the punitive because it was PU.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you ever have to sign a waiver when you get on some horse-drawn carriage, it's because of William Madiger and his $20,000 lawsuit. It reminded me of
That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
It reminds me of an episode of
Shouldn't
Seinfeld.
be on a horse-drawn carriage when your horse is yourself.
Hey, you can say some of that on the radio.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Oh, stick around. We got more on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got some good news coming your way here in a bit, and I think this is actually kind of interesting news. Vast majority of people in our country consider themselves Christian. But how deep does their Christianity run, Heidi?
Probably not very.
No, not very. According to the results of the survey released last month from Lifeway Research, the survey commissioned by Ministry asked 3,000 participants a set of 47 questions about foundational Christian beliefs. Many of the answers revealed a mishmash of hearsay and confusion about Christianity's most basic doctrines. 71% of Americans agree that there is only one true God. One in essence, three in person, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Yet almost
only 71% of Christians agree with that.
71% of Americans.
Of Americans.
Yeah.
I was going to say, shouldn't that be 100?
But almost the same number believe God accepts the worship of all other religions, even those that deny the Trinity or worship other deities.
That's not what the Bible says.
61% correctly say Jesus is both human and divine, but half think he's also, quote, the first and greatest being created by God, end quote, rather than existing eternally as Scripture and the ancient creeds of faith teach. So I've got all of the details on this if you really want to dive into it. What I was going to do is give Heidi a little test on the radio, but I figured that wouldn't be very nice, and she would stab me once we're off the air. So.
Actually, I have read the majority of the Bible. So.
You know, I'm actually proud of you. You've been reading the Bible a lot. I'll walk in our room. We're married, so I'll walk in our bedroom, and Heidi will be reading. The other day, you had a question. It was out of Corinthians. You're like, hey, got a question for you. Then you asked me something that I don't know, and I'm like, I think I just heard the coffee pot go off.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to call our pastor on that one.
Gonna have to. Did you hear that? I think our dogs need to go outside. I don't know what to... as much as I would like to think that I know it all, I can tell you I know that I don't know it all.
Right.
And the good news is there are a lot of people who are Christian, but like this survey just said here, there's a lot of people that are very confused as well. You know how you find the answers?
Read the
good
Bible.
news is life is an open book test. If you open the book, you're going to do better on the test.
That's right.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is really cool. Thanks to a generous Ohio community, a young man there named Kevin Finley is now going to be able to drive to work rather than walking to work. He was spending 10 hours a day walking.
Oh, my gosh.
5 hours to work and 5 hours back home. Yeah. 30-year-old cook at a Ruby Tuesdays in Ohio started working at the chain about, they have 9 locations. Anyway, he started working at this location when the one that he used to work at closed. He was making an 18-mile round trip trek every day, 6 days a week. After the restaurant's general manager found out, they created a GoFundMe page for him, and they've already raised $8,000 for Finley to purchase a car. I've got a link to all of this on our Facebook page, by the way, Kevin Finley. I think that's really cool.
You have really got to admire that kind
dedication.
of dedication and drive and want
I was just
to go to work.
Yeah, to walk 5 hours.
To pay your own way in this life, to walk 5 hours
One way
to go to work. That is amazing. Good for him.
I think so too. Hats off. And if I had some dough to throw your way, I would do that.
Absolutely. That is awesome.
I think it's really cool.
Super proud of him. That's amazing.
As am I. I think that's really neat. Again,
there are very few people with that kind of work ethic.
I know.
Anymore.
I call in sick and I don't have to drive at all. I just walk down the steps and I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, I see you.
I'm out of gas.
I know you're okay.
What do you mean you're out of gas? What are you talking about? Get down here. Okay. They don't want to go on the radio today. Don't make me do it, Heidi. Don't make me do it. All right. That was our good news for the day. And we always try to share our good news online at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Thursday. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.